For years, the world of AI felt like the Wild West. But you know what? That era is officially over. A new age of AI governance is here, and a global rulebook is taking shape faster than anyone expected, all built on a new consensus around ethics and regulation. So, how did we get here so fast? And what do these new rules actually mean for all of us? All right, let's break this down. First, we're going to talk about why governance suddenly became non-negotiable. Then, we'll meet the key players, the new rule makers, and check out the common blueprint they're all using. After that, we'll see what this looks like in the real world for companies, and finally, we'll look ahead at the road to truly global AI rules. So, what happened? What lit the fire that caused this sudden, urgent scramble to govern AI? It feels like just yesterday this was a niche topic, and now it's an emergency in every boardroom. This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? The time for talking is over. We're in the age of accountability now, and it's being driven by a perfect storm of really powerful forces. It's really these three things hitting all at once, and it's all been supercharged by generative AI suddenly showing up everywhere. First, you've got new laws with actual teeth, like the EU AI Act. Second, industry standards are popping up that create a new normal for what good AI management looks like. And third, there's just plain old business risk. We're talking massive penalties, lawsuits, and boards demanding to know what the plan is. So who's actually writing this new global rulebook? Well, it's not just one group. It's a whole collection of influential players, and each one has a totally different style. Let's meet the three main characters here: the regulator, the engineer, and the diplomat. First up, the regulator. And the best example of this is the European Union's AI Act. Now, this is not a list of friendly suggestions, it's the law. It basically sorts AI systems by how risky they are, and it puts the tightest rules on the systems that can affect our lives the most. This is all about formal regulation. And you have to understand, the EU is not playing around. If you don't comply, the penalties are absolutely staggering. We're talking up to 35 million euros or even 7% of your company's global revenue. Yeah, that's a number that makes everyone sit up and pay attention. Okay, next, let's meet the engineer. This is the NIST AI Risk Management Framework from the US. Now, if the EU has a legal hammer, this is more like a practical how-to guide. It's voluntary, it's flexible, and it's designed to help organizations build their own processes for managing AI risk from the ground up. And what's really cool about this is how it breaks down the process. The NIST framework isn't just a checklist, it's a continuous cycle. You start with govern, which is all about creating a culture that's aware of risk. Then you map out your specific risks, measure them, and finally, manage them. And then you do it all over again. It's a living thing. And last but not least, we have the diplomats. Think of global bodies like UNESCO. Their focus is on building a shared foundation of values. They're not writing specific laws. Instead, they're trying to create a universal framework of ethics that can help every country move towards responsible AI. So, you've got the regulator, the engineer, and the diplomat. They all have different methods, right? But here is the amazing part. They are all somehow working from a surprisingly similar blueprint. This is the proof, right here. Just look at this table. It doesn't matter if you're looking at the EU's law, NIST's guide, or UNESCO's recommendations. These four ideas show up over and over and over again. Transparency, fairness, security, and accountability. This is the common DNA of AI governance worldwide. Okay, that's the blueprint. But how do we get from these big ideas to actual concrete actions? What does this stuff look like in the real world for an organization trying to do the right thing? Well, it often starts with something like this, an AI governance charter. The best way to think about it is like a company's internal constitution for AI. This is the document that makes all those principles real. It says who's in charge, what the rules are, and how decisions get made. It's how you translate high-level ethics into your daily work. And listen, these deadlines are not some distant, abstract thing. They're real. Just look at the timeline for the EU AI Act. This is happening now. Prohibitions are already kicking in. And later this year, the rules for those big general-purpose AI models and those huge penalties come into play. This isn't theoretical. It's creating real pressure right now. So all of this activity, from the regulators, the engineers, the diplomats, it's all pushing toward a new global order for AI. So what's the end game here? Where is all this heading? Which brings us to the big question, right? After all of this, have we landed on one single unified set of global rules for AI? The answer is not quite. And that's actually by design. The key word here isn't unification, it's interoperability. The whole idea is to create a system where if you comply with one framework, it helps you comply with another. They're all designed to speak the same basic language, even if they have slightly different accents. So as this new world unfolds, there are three really important trends you should keep an eye on. First is this idea of framework alignment, how smart companies are mapping their internal processes to meet a bunch of different rules at once. Second, watch for more industry-specific guidelines for places like finance or healthcare. And finally, keep an eye out for brand new regional strategies, like the ambitious plan from the African Union, which will bring new voices into this global conversation. And that leaves us with the ultimate question. Right now, we are literally writing the rulebook for one of the most powerful technologies humanity has ever created. And as these roles become reality, the balance we choose to strike between incredible innovation and responsible regulation won't just define the future of AI, it's going to define our future, too.